everyone. Welcome back to Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show about non-human protagonists and player characters in speedrunning. And we have been doing our night of non-furry protagonists, so animals with skin, scales, slime, the like. And we're going to go ahead and go to the land of the slightly more mythical versions of animals with a game that features one of our favorite dragons. We've got Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Spyro the Dragon, and I also want to note that this is a bit of a preview for an upcoming marathon by Fastest Furs, their Fall Fest. So we are going to have this same runner doing the same run during that marathon. So you get to see it early here first. So with that, let's go ahead and do some Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Spyro the Dragon, Any NBS by chaimyyyy. Have fun!
Hello, I'm chaimyyyy. This is Spyro Reignited Trilogy, just a remaster of the original 1998, 99, and 2000 trilogy for Spyro. Like Satan said, we're going to be doing any NBS. So there's going to be a lot of things I need to talk about here at the beginning. So I'm going to try and talk a lot about it through the starting cutscene that we will also end up skipping. So we're going to try and go. All right, starting time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. So the main thing I should say, we are going to be going for the RTA world record. Only 2 people have actually tried to play this game for RTA record, and it was a long time ago on an old route. And when I say RTA record, I say because we time this using loadless because the loads are very inconsistent. So there's a couple things to do for that. First of all, we just skipped Nestor. We performed a skip. By simply jumping as we hit Nestor, we can skip the entire 30-second cutscene. It's a lot easier to do that here than it is in the OG version. But yeah, so we just did a skip. Alrighty, we're 1 for 1 so far. We're doing amazing.
Wow, perfect run.
Perfect. So when I say we're going for RTA record, the thing that we're going to do to achieve that is we're going to be doing these things called fly-in skips. You may have noticed that entering this level, from entering the level to actually starting the level was a pretty long load. To be fair, this level does have the longest load for just no reason. But we are going to do fly-in skips to try and avoid as many loads as possible to try and get the RTA world record. And what a fly-in skip is essentially if you pause the game the exact same frame you touch a level portal to trigger the loading screen, you can actually quit the game to the menu, and then you can continue your save file through the main menu, and it starts you at the beginning of the level, and it skips a huge load. So we're going to be trying to hit those as many as we possibly can, and it's not viable on most levels when we're actually doing runs, but for RTA, we're doing it everywhere. But we're going to miss it a bunch because it is frame perfect, and we're running on 50 FPS. Now that all that talking's out of the way. Now that all that talking's out of the way, we're going to do another skip real fast. So should be 2 for 2. And then I'll talk more about the category because we'll have a tiny bit of like easygoing downtime. So the skip we're about to do here is called Fairy Proxy. This is the only dragon in the game that we can do this. But basically, every time you collect a dragon, it spawns a fairy. Her name is Zoe. She is meant to like be a checkpoint system. And this is the only dragon that it happens, but we can actually, if we stand in a specific spot, we can basically get teleported on top of Zoe at the end of the dragon cutscene and just jump straight to the end of the level, so we can just collect some more dragons, get some more gems as fast as we can. Which now brings me into the category, any NBS. This category is basically just like a no major glitches. We are collecting the bare minimum requirements to progress in the game. So throughout the run, we're going to be getting a bunch of different collectibles, or a lot of collectibles. So by the end of this first homeworld, which we are coming up on right now, we actually need to have saved at least 10 dragons to get to the next homeworld. By the second homeworld, we need 1,200 gems. The third homeworld, we need, eggs. We need 5 dragon eggs, then 50 dragons, then 6,000 gems. So this whole game is just getting those requirements. And NBS stands for no balloonist skip, which here in the second homeworld, there's a skip we can do to get out of bounds. And the devs left a dev portal out of bounds that you can basically just teleport you straight to the last homeworld. And if you do the balloonist skip correct, you can just skip a few levels in the last homeworld and just go straight to the final boss to beat the game. I think loadless, the record is like just under 5 minutes or something like that. It's very quick. So yeah, we are in Peacekeepers now. Well, webcam. We are going to, the next level is the first level where we would actually go for flying skips, which I need to remember to. Forgot to go for it on this one because I'm not used to going for it on every level. So I'm failing already, but we still hit both tricks we've gone for, so it's all good.
You're doing great, and I love that we are seeing an entirely different version of the speedrun here adapted for the marathon setting. That is super cool.
Yeah. So something fun about this game. So there are different kinds of chests that are scattered throughout the game, and you have to break them to get gems. There are just regular wooden chests, which you can charge into or use a flame to break to get the gem out. There are metal chests that you have to charge through. There are firework chests, which you're supposed to flame, but we can also charge into. At the beginning of this level was something called a spring chest. What is supposed to happen, the interaction that's supposed to happen there is you're supposed to flame the chest, the gem then springs out of the chest and you're supposed to jump and get it. But in this game, if you are charging, if you jump at the right time, Spyro's hitbox hits the chest, which sends the gem up in the air, and because you already jumped, you instantly collect it. It's not a very hard thing to do. I just messed it up because I'm super nervous, because it wouldn't be. And
you're doing a great job. Don't worry about it. I think everybody's loving you. I'm seeing so much love in chat for you and so much support. And you are just doing a lovely job showing us this really cool game.
Spyro community is the coolest community.
I can very much see what you're talking about there. It is lovely to see all this in chat.
Oh. Missed an easy jump. How dare I? There we go. So if you noticed, we actually hit a flying skip at the start of this level. Loadless, each flying skip saves around 4 seconds, but RTA, they can save like 15 to 20 seconds each on most levels. So we need to keep hitting those. So yeah, this is Clifftown. This is the most annoying level in Peacekeepers, simply because at a higher level, you are almost required to hit the fly-in skip to have a good start to the run. And it's frame perfect, obviously, and the optimal FPS to play this game is 50 FPS, which I guess I should talk about FPS a little bit. So this game is made using the Unreal Engine, and if you don't know what that means, it basically means the lower your FPS is, the higher you jump. So you would think running on a lower FPS is really good. We have it to where you can only run, like for leaderboards, you can only run from 30 to 60 FPS. But another interesting thing, certain gems from certain enemies fall faster at higher FPSs, meaning you can collect them quicker. So the balance really is going in between 30 and 60, kind of. But most people just play on 50. And we avoid certain FPS counts because one level in the next homeworld actually does genuinely just break and you cannot progress in the level at all if you are on an FPS that is a multiple of 12, so like 36 FPS or 48 FPS. It's a weird thing. Now we're going into flight levels. Super cool. Not really.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
So flight levels are the only time we're actually flying in this game, which is funny considering we are playing as a dragon. But each flight level, and we will do a few more in the run, each flight level has 8 different collectibles, but each collectible has, or I should say like 8 targets collectibles, and each one you have to collect 8 of. No, 4. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous.
You're
4
fine.
different...
Counting is hard. I know as a host. I
Numbers.
can't count half the time. That's my
Numbers are the
role.
worst.
Exactly.
So there are 4 different collectibles in flight levels, and we have to get 8 of each collectible to beat the level. For every 8 collectibles you get, you actually get 60 gems. But if you do all of them in one run through of the level, you get an extra 60 gems on top. So realistically, every fight level we do, we are getting 300 gems, which will help towards our goal of eventually getting 6,000 gems. So yeah, it's pretty boring on flight levels. There's not a whole lot going on. Some of them are a bit trickier than others, but funny enough, there are 5 flight levels in the game. At a time, we only did 4 of them. Then we made a route that did all 5, but then we made another route that cut out the one we added, and now we're on this current route, which cut out another flight level. So instead of 5 flight levels, we're only doing 3. And it's good because the 2 we cut out are the longest and worst ones. So that's awesome. Because no one likes sunny flight or icy flight, especially in SRT. Terrible levels. But yeah.
It's good to route out the levels that the speedrunners like less.
Yeah. And my favorite thing is the last route and the current route we use were named after a dancing fox gif that I had on my stream for the longest time. This is the Stevenson 2.0 route, and the last route was Stevenson route. I just had a little dancing fox on my stream, just called him Stevenson, and we named a route after him, I guess.
Why not?
Oh, yeah. I should say there is also console versions of this game. They run a bit different. They use IGT instead of loadless. And because they use IGT, their routing is actually different. And they do a lot of different things. It's still pretty cool. And it's funny because when I started playing, there used to be like no console runners, but currently console runners are like a majority of the runners in this game at the moment. So that's pretty cool. It's fun to see the console versions get some love. Yeah, we're just gonna be running through all these levels, getting all the gems we can. One term we like to use is GPS, or gems per second. So all the gems we are grabbing are calculated in the gem route. And we have calculated the exact amount of gems per second each gem is realistically to grab the most optimal gems along the way of getting dragons. So I think the standard gems per second that we use for SRT is about 4 gems per second, 4 to 4.5, somewhere around there. So we will be running past a lot of gems, but the gems we don't collect are we're not collecting for a reason, and that's because it is less optimal. And we also went for a little trick there. If you hit that guy at a certain angle, you actually hit him on top of a metal chest. And that guy, there's a few enemies like that in this level, and they're really finicky. They don't die when they are pushed off the cliff. The game calculates them dying when their Y level changes, because at the end of each cliff side, there's a small drop in Y level change. The game calculates that the enemy changed Y level positions and kills them, but if we just hit him in a certain way, he actually gets pushed on top of the chest and dies, and that means we can save hitting him a second time. So yeah, currently, I also have a bunch of notes on my screen for gem routing, so I can keep track of how many gems I've collected to see if I'm missing any, how under I am, so I can kind of adapt to what's happening. And that's what I find really fun about this category, is it's not always the exact same. Sometimes you're on runs that have really good gem counts. Sometimes you're on runs where you're like 30 gems under and you're starting to like be hurting for gems. Currently, we're only 1 gem under, which is not bad. It's what we like to see. So yeah, we are about to have a new game mechanic called supercharging. Yay!
That sounds
It is, in my opinion, supercharging in this game is what makes SRT one of the coolest speed games out there. It's very scary for newer players, but once you give it a try, it's super fun, although they can be challenging. So supercharging, there are ramps on certain levels where if you start charging down it, Spyro will actually get the supercharge effect, which allows him to run super duper fast and pretty much is indestructible, can break anything, can kill anything. But what makes it so scary on PC is we actually do all our supercharges using keyboard mouse. We call them KBM strats. The reason we do that is because when they ported the game over, I guess they didn't do the absolute best job in terms of porting using, like thinking about keyboard and mouse being used on the game. So whenever you're using keyboard and mouse, if you are turning with your mouse instead of like, you know, like analog stick or arrow keys or WASD, if you turn with your mouse, you can turn a lot faster, which allows us to carry supercharges as long as possible and collect as much as we can. So that's what we're doing right now. This is the High Cave Supercharge, also known as Bite Caves. We're messing up because why wouldn't I? But that's fine. Kind of backed it up all right. This is, funny enough, this is like the easiest supercharge in a level that we do, and it probably looks very scary.
It does look very scary, but you're, you know, just handling like a champ, like you just do it every day.
Yes.
Which, yeah, that's what speedrunning is.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, supercharging is really fun. It's probably the thing I think gives SRT the most, I think it's the biggest identity factor for SRT is the supercharging, because what we can do with it is amazing. And what I'm hopefully going to be able to do here in this run later will look incredible. But for the 100% category for this game, which is called 120%, we have even crazier supercharges.
Cannot wait to see. When I go check that out later.
The next level we're going to do, we'll have a really cool supercharge, so hopefully that goes well. But for now, we're doing Alpine. This is a very cycle-based level, and this is also the level where if your game is on an FPS that is a multiple of 12, the game will break and you cannot progress. Basically, there are a bunch of these green wizards that like move platforms, move stairs up and down and everything. They will actually get stuck on certain FPSs, like I said, and they just will not move. So like this wall right in front of us will just stay up and you can't progress. It's very silly. So we're trying not to miss any gems. Oh. Should also say, there's a little dragonfly following us. This guy's name is Sparks. He he can be a bit of a meanie sometimes, but he's also a godsend. He has two functionalities. He shows how much health we have, and if you have sparks, he collects nearby gems for you, so you don't have to run directly on top of them. And when I say for health, so normally, if you have gold sparks or yellow, as some might say, you have full health. We are currently on blue sparks, which means we took one hit, but we can still take 3 hits before we're dead. Green sparks, you take 2 hits before you're dead. And then if you take a hit with green sparks, you lose your sparks, meaning you can't collect gems as easy. And also the next hit you take, you're dead and you respawn. And also, Prism Lizard, I see you in chat. Yes, 60 FPS does break it.
Wow, you're ahead of me. I was just about to ask you for chat. Wow.
I'm so on top of it. No!
Maybe we can do it all.
There we go. We do a styled 360 there because we're better. We're just better.
It's all for style. Speaking of style, yeah. These shades, awesome.
They're the best. I should also say we're using yellow Spyro, but in my presence, it's not yellow Spyro, it's mustard Spyro. This is by far the most underrated Spyro color. Everyone hates it, but everyone should love mustard Spyro. By far the best.
Honestly, I would say he's really easy to see against the background, and I think that that's actually kind of practical.
Yes. So here we go with the second hardest supercharge in the run. So hopefully this all goes well. This is a very scary charge because of one specific spot that we will talk about in a second.
Ooh. Whoa. That was so precise. This is wild. I hope chat is appreciating this as much as I am. Oh. I'm sure they are. Oh.
We messed up, but it's fine. So basically, why that charge is so hard is on that last island there, we're supposed to jump around and kill that thief. But whenever we kill thieves in the game, we have to kill them while we are in midair. Because if we kill them while we are touching the ground, it plays a cutscene that is unskippable, and it would take us out of the charge. So we are trying to jump at a certain angle to where we hit him in the air, but we also need to land back on that very small platform and keep enough speed to jump that really big gap to get to the end of the level. So yeah, it's a pretty hard charge. Sorry I messed it up, but it happens.
Looking at it, I'm like, there's no way I could hit that in a trillion years. So the fact that you even intended it is incredible.
Yeah, some of the supercharges in this game take a lot of practice, and even then they're still not super consistent, but we still have another supercharge later in the game, pretty much at the very end of the game, that is easily the biggest run killer of the game. Since we've added it to the game, this run went from being like one of the most fun runs ever to being like one of the most scary runs too, because it's a really hard supercharge that happens to also be like 3 splits before the end of the game. So it's very like, you get there on pace, you're nervous, it's almost impossible to get that level good. But we will hit it for sure. I'm gonna make sure I have a good Haunted Towers because we messed up Wizard Peak. Also, this is Crystal Fight, another fight level. Just nothing to talk about, nothing new, you know, just... yeah, all good. It's perfect.
Perfect run, no notes.
No, yeah. I mean, I've seen 0 mistakes so far this run. Zero
Zero
mistakes.
It's convenient that sometimes we forget how to count.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said earlier, I'm bad with numbers.
You're doing great.
Alrighty, so now we're about to go into one of the best named bosses of the game, Blowhard. Super great name.
That is a great name.
So at the end of every homeworld, there is a boss that you can just get a bunch of gems. A lot of the bosses in this game are really like, they're kind of boring because it's really you just run at them, flame them, then they go somewhere, then you do it again, and then you do it a third time, and that's it. There is one exception to that, which is Metalhead, which is in the next homeworld. But we won't be beating him. We're too cool to beat him. We don't need him. Yeah, this is Blowhard. Also a very cycle-based level here at the start, which we already messed up because hitting a double spring chest is very hard. If you jump at the right spot, similar to when you're jumping into a spring chest, if you're falling onto a spring chest while charging, the same effect applies. The gem will get sprung up into the air, but you're already above it, so you instantly collect it. So double spring chest is something you can do. Very hard to do. I've also just realized I've been forgetting the flying skips again, so shame on me. But that's okay. We're gonna 100% hit the rest of them because I now remember and never miss them because I am the pause master.
Chat, can we help Chaimy remember? Hit all the tricks, to do the pauses. We can send her your energy.
Thank you. $33.99. Oh my god. And we're going to Beastmakers now. A few years ago, this used to be the scariest homeworld because of two levels. One, Misty Bog. Misty Bog is just, it's always an annoying level because the enemies are just super aggressive and they can hit you a bunch and cause you to lose time. But the scarier level is Treetops because there's a supercharge in there that used to be considered one of the hardest charges in all of SRT1, but is now by most standards considered pretty tame, very consistent. It is still very easy to mess up, but it's not too hard compared to what else we have to do. So yeah, now we're going into Terrence Village. We love Terrence. We get to do a cool trick in this game for Terrence, and that is called Torch Jump. And it's a trick where we abuse a mechanic that the devs put into the game to help the bad players. So, yeah. There's a mechanic in the game called auto hover. So basically in OG Spyro 2 and 3, they added this mechanic called hovering where after gliding for a certain amount of time, you can press a button and Spyro actually just goes up into the air a bit, flaps his wings, and you can basically use it to land in certain spots. But when they were making SRT1, they decided they wanted something similar to that, but not exactly that. So essentially, just like we did it right there, perfect. Essentially, what happens is if Spyro is gliding and lands very close to an edge, but doesn't quite make it over the gap, the game will give Spyro a small auto hover to help them get to the top of whatever jump they're trying to make. So yeah, we abuse it to land on top of that torch and save like 7-8 seconds. It's pretty cool. It's not too hard, it's just kind of a specific lineup for it. Wow. Alrighty, and then we're gonna just finish up the level. And then, of course, we never forget Bruno. This is the biggest meme with SRT. Coming out of Terrence, you don't see him, but there's a dragon right here, because we enter in from the back. The dragon is out of sight when you exit the level, so you don't see him. So it's very common for new runners or people derusting the game to just forget Bruno exists. It's happened to me multiple times. It's happened to other top runners multiple times. It just happens. So we never forget Bruno. We love Bruno.
Out of sight, out of mind, until you can't do that for the speedrun. Don't forget him.
But now we're doing the last flight level that we're going to be doing this game, Wild Flight. This is easily considered the hardest flight level, and according to a certain Steam thread, it is impossible to beat this level. Impossible.
Impossible?
Impossible.
Do the impossible?
Exactly. We're just so good. We just defy all logic and just beat the level anyways.
Wow, speedrunners truly are amazing.
Yeah, this level just has some tight cycles for like faster routes, and it's also a level that is very easy to die on, because if you touch the water, you die. And some of those arches that we flew through, their collision, after you fly through them, they break into pieces, and some of those pieces still have collision that can just push you into the water and kill you. There's easy ways to avoid that, but sometimes you just forget it happens, and it happens. So yeah. So I'm going to look at my gym count real fast. We are currently 43 gyms under. Not too great. We missed a few gyms throughout the run. So these are not good backup gyms, but we're doing it anyways. We're going to get those gyms. And we're going to go into Misty Dog. I should probably also say that the different colored gyms represent different gym values. Pink gyms are 25, yellow gyms are 10, blue gyms are 5, greens are 2, and reds are 1. So we want to be trying to collect as many gyms of the higher values as we can when possible. And the further you get into the game, the more the gyms kind of ramp up. You'll notice that like levels in the first homeworld, we were getting like 100 gyms to 200 gyms maybe at best. Some of these levels in these later homeworlds can have like 400 gyms to 500. So yeah. So Misty Dog, very aggressive enemies. It's not too big a deal on SRT as compared to OG, but it can still be a problem, mostly with these frogs. These frogs, the bog frogs. At Oddkara, oh my god. Alright. Well, I'm moving so fast, I don't even know what to... I just keep forgetting things to talk about. This is crazy. Oh my god.
You're doing great. I've been having a lot of fun watching, and I know Chad has too. I guess, quick question. What got you into Spyro speedrunning in the first place?
So when I was a kid, I actually played the original Spyro, but it wasn't my copy. I used to, with my cousin, we both had PS2s, and we would trade games at daycare, and we would just like trade games for like a few weeks and then give them back. So I got introduced to Spyro through my cousin, and then about late 2020, I was scrolling Steam because I was bored. I was tired of playing Counter-Strike and Overwatch. I wanted something new. So I decided to look on Steam, and I saw SRT on Steam for sale, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know they remastered the game. I picked it up, played through the first game, and I was like, I wonder what the speedrun for this looks like, because I was always a fan of speedrunning. I watched the speedrun, and the world record at the time was held by a guy named Bobby Bill at a 32:55, I think. I watched it, and I was like, I think I can do that. Then I started running the game, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. So this is your first ever speed game. That's really cool.
Yes, this is the game that started it all for me. And it's funny now too, because my PB is more than 2 minutes faster than what the world record was at the time of me starting to play. And the world record overall is about 3 minutes faster than when I started playing. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. That's one of the coolest things about speedrunning as a hobby is that, you know, we all collectively make games better.
So right here we have a pretty hard supercharge. We're missing a few gems. That's fine. This part right here is really what makes it hard. Getting this thief. Oh, we bonked. Okay, we almost had it. You basically just want to like keep your supercharge, run through that thief to get his gem. Then you want to keep the supercharge while you're up top, fall off of it, off the map, and land back on at the bottom section while keeping supercharge, so that way you can break all the fan chests, because the fan chests you have to flame 3 times for them to break, whereas if you supercharge them, you just run into them and they break. So yeah, it can be a little tricky sometimes, but that's easily what makes that level like a bit tricky. It used to be the hardest. It's still nowhere near the hardest thing we have to do. So I have one more really hard level, and it sucks, champ. It's the worst. So yeah, now we're going to Metalhead. This is the boss of this homeworld. We like to call him Jank Man because this level, for some reason, just breaks the most out of any other level in SRT1. And we mean, like, gems will despawn, gems will fall through the ground, clip through walls. The boss himself, and during certain animations that should be happening, will just decide, like, he's just not going to do them. Sometimes the boss gets stuck. This level is just really funny. So we're on a good enough gem count where we can skip a lot of gems there. It may come back to haunt me later with the one level that's gonna be coming up because it's very easy to miss gems, but I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, Metalhead is also like a bit different from every other boss. Instead of just running at him and flaming him 3 times, you just break these poles and he goes to the next phase. But like I said, we're not going to beat Metalhead. We're actually just going to stop about halfway through the boss fight because we don't need any more gems. Then we are about to be off to the second to last homeworld. Gem count's looking pretty good. I'm going to grab a few extra gems just in case. Because, like I said, the first level in the next homeworld is easily the hardest level in the entire run, and is very easy to miss gems because we're supercharging. So yeah.
Imagine being
going into dream
Metalhead
years.
and then fighting your opponent and being like, yeah, the best person will win. I gotta beat Spyro, and Spyro just pieces out midway. Because he got all the gems he needed. Just like, nah, I don't need to finish this. What? Where'd he go?
Just gone. So yeah, this is the second to last homeworld. We are about to enter the hardest level in the game, Haunted Towers. And it is the hardest level in the game for 2 reasons. One, there is a specific jump that we need to do to get up to the supercharge ramp that is very hard and very precise. And second, while supercharging, there is another really precise jump that we have to hit, or else we die and have to start the level over again. But then we can just kind of do the other half of the supercharge after that. But yes, it's a very scary level. The supercharge itself is super easy. It's what makes this level hard is simply just 2 jumps, one of them while you're supercharging, and that's kind of why this level is ridiculously hard. We're probably going to have to lower FPS for a few seconds just so I can hit the jump, because at 50 FPS, it is very hard to hit the jump, but we will try and hit it. Yeah, okay. It's about what I thought. It's very, very precise. At 50 FPS, you need to like wall glide, which is a mechanic that we also just did there, where you can just kind of glide at certain angles on certain walls and gain height, and we get an auto hover out of it. So now we're starting to supercharge. This is the scary. Well, that's new. I've never been hit there.
Nope,
So let's try again. Try this one more time. This time, we will do it right.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh,
We hit the jump.
that's awesome. Wow.
We missed the gym. We missed the 10 gym, but that's fine. And then we still have to do this last section, which can be a tiny bit tricky. Oh, no. No, my game dropped frames like a second before I turned and it stopped the turn. Oh,
Aww.
no. It's okay. It's okay.
They're conspiring against you.
Real. We're just gonna go the intended way. Boo, champ. Boo, I say. Yeah. That is going to be the level. To be honest, that went a lot better than it normally goes. Unless you're hitting everything first try, there's a good chance you just lose like 2 minutes on that level. Most of my runs I've had lately, I just lose 2 minutes in that level all the time because of just how stupid it can be.
Well, I'm thankful it went well.
Thankfully. Tried to go for a fly and skip because, again, I keep forgetting them. So something tells me we're not getting RTA record. I do this every time I do a marathon run. I'm like, I'm going to try and go for it because I think it'd be really funny if I did get it. And then halfway through the run, I'm like, oh, I've been forgetting literally everything.
Well, you do have another marathon that is coming up soon. We're kind of previewing a little bit here for Fest's Fall Fest. We're going to be back with this run as well. So there's more chances.
I'm super excited to do that run. I've been trying to get in that marathon for a while. I love the furry community. Super awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely a community we're looking to support and uplift here at Creature Corner. Because, you know, we love creatures. We love furry friends. It's awesome.
So we are hitting a cycle here. In this entire level, we want to have perfect movement so we can do this. If that guy's big, from that distance, he shoots like a little fireball at you. And we can use that fireball to break the big metal chest behind us because it is a chest that we can't break ourselves. We would actually, the intended way is to run through this entire level and there's a rocket on the ground that we can flame that will then fly over and break that chest open for us. But that's really slow because this level is really long.
So you just use the conveniently placed enemy that shoots fire.
Exactly.
To do it instead. Nice.
So looking at our gym count is extraordinarily high. I don't know what happened. This is the highest gym count I have ever seen.
Well, all right. We're rich.
We're super rich. So we're just gonna go for some we're just gonna drop some gems in this last level in Jacques. Yeah. This level's nothing too tricky about it. There's just a couple jumps over gaps that will kill you if you miss. Other than that, it's a pretty simple level. We just run to the boss, flame him, he runs away, we flame him again, he runs away again, and then we flame him, and then that's it. Lights out. My gym count is so high, I don't even know what gyms to skip. We're just gonna do this.
Just figuring it out on the fly. You know, pun intended.
I'm never in the situation where I have too many gyms to where I have to like cut out so many. Sometimes I have a high enough gym count where I'm like, okay, I can skip like this gym, or this gym. Other times I have to grab extra gyms because I'm so under gyms. So Yeah.
Very
also,
interesting thing for a speed run to sort of have this sort of money management be the main thing.
Yeah. That's the thing I really like about the categories, because when you play the completionist category, it's always the same because you have to collect everything the exact same way. And if you miss it, you have to go back for it. Whereas in this game, if I miss a gem, I don't have to go back for it. I could choose to go back for it, or I can choose to make up that gem later down the road with another backup gem. It's like you have to adapt on the fly. So now we're going into the last homeworld, and we are about to do the major trick of the run, Coveless. Normally, what you have to do in the last homeworld is you have to go through the first level. You need to beat the level, then you have to go through the second level, beat that, then you can go into the final boss. But with this trick, we can just skip straight into the final boss. So I'm going to try and do it and then explain it, because I need to focus up a tiny bit for this trick. So hopefully we hit this first try.
Hi, Spyro.
Hang on. I'm just going to reset that. Did not like where Spyro was facing. There we go.
Hi, Spyro.
Okay, so what happens here is we need to Alt F4 because we just soft locked the game.
Oh no!
I haven't done that in a very long time. Kind of forgot it could happen. So
okay,
we're gonna reload the game.
Here.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I feel
It'll be back in a second. It's no problem. Sometimes the game just doesn't agree with you. Not a big deal.
This would happen. You know, this would happen during my run. The game just
Chad is saying it's so rare. Marathon.
The funny thing about SRT is there are quite a few ways to soft lock the game, but there are very little ways to crash the game. Crashing the game is actually really hard to do. It does not crash very often. So
that's probably a good thing for a game to have.
Yeah, it is a very good thing for the game. I appreciate that it doesn't crash very often. So when it does crash, it's very heartbreaking. All right, here we go.
Yep, looks like we're right back in. Very nice. Speed running, reopening the game.
Nice. Let's go. We did it.
Nice.
So basically, we do a trick called fairy storage. In fairy storage, what that allows us to do is the same frame we decide to replay a dragon. If we hit charge X to play the dragon and we hit triangle to get out of the talk box from Zoe the fairy, we can actually have Spyro continuously charge in one direction while the dragon is replaying. And if we line Spyro up correctly, we can have him run into the balloonist, which gives us another text box, which if we select the artisan's homeworld at the right time, so he takes us back to it, because the dragon cutscene is still playing, if we skip it, we then regain control of Spyro while in the balloon, which allows us to launch ourselves forward when we shouldn't be able to. And I still was able to load into the portal because all the portals are actually still there for a short period of time, even though everything else is deloaded. So it's a fun trick. And then we just did Nasty Wall Glide because it's slower, but it's a lot cooler. We beat Nasty at his own race, you know. The swag strat of a century.
That was really cool to see. Like, dare I say,
time's
we're
about
the
to
sophomore?
Yeah. I'm so sad that it's soft blocked, but it's all good. So timing's about to come up on this last hit of Nork. We just have to get through this little lava room parkour area. And time in 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Woo, GG!
That is time. Oh my god, GG!
Underestimate
Yeah,
even
rat
with the
fox
soft
use.
lock. Very nicely done.
Let's go. That's all I can ask for is being underestimated. Yeah, that's SRT Any NBS. I appreciate y'all letting me run this for you. A lot of fun.
Again in the Dragon Kingdom.
Yeah.
Mostly. I've still got some treasure.
What will you do next?
I don't know what to say.
I'd say the
Well,
skies
I will
are
say that you did a great job, and that was so much fun. I can see so much enthusiasm in chat for you, so you should definitely tell everybody who's watching where they can find you for more.
Yes. So I stream over at chaimyyyy with 4 Ys. I'm going to be doing some more SRT NBS because I actually have 2 marathon runs coming up. Next Friday, I'm going to be doing a marathon run for the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. And then the week after,
that's so
I'm going to be
exciting, too.
doing this for Fastest Furs. So yeah, I also do a bunch of OG Spyro stuff as well. Really fun game to play. So if y'all are ever in the mood to learn a new speed game or just want to watch a new speed game, Spyro the Dragon, either Reignited or OG. I personally prefer the Reignited version because that's where my home is. But lots of cool people in the Spyro community as a whole. A bunch of people in chat. Thank you so much, everyone who shut up. I really appreciate it, champ. So yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed, champ. That's yeah. GG, champ.
I think everybody enjoyed so much, including myself. That was so much fun to watch. You did so much precise platforming and moving at the speed of light. I hope that everybody's excited for your upcoming marathon appearances, and you might want to stick around as well because we have one more fantastic game here up on Creature Corner, and it's going to be just as intense and cool and fun as this one. That it will be Sea Frog, and if you've never seen Sea Frog, it is a frog skateboarding. So we do not stop with the skateboarding extreme action. Thank you so much for being here, Jamie. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And stick around because we're going to take a short break and then we'll be back with Sea Frog.